Right. Software engineering. So part of this lecture, part of this presentation, we have done last time. So the areas we are going to cover are essential attributes of good software, general issues that affect software, software engineering diversity, and the application types. There are different application types available, and the reasons for software project failures. Those are the main areas. And in brief, we are going to discuss about software ethics too. One second. Right. Then, what we discussed last time, we talk about essential attributes of good software. We talk about 4 main attributes: acceptability, efficiency, maintainability, dependability, and security. So the main attributes we have discussed are acceptability, efficiency, maintainability, dependability, and security. Those are the main attributes of a good software. We have discussed these attributes in detail last time. And then also we discussed about fundamentals of software engineering activities or processes. There are different types of software processes are available. But when it comes to or when we define or when we discuss what are the fundamental or the main software engineering activities, we can have 4 items. Those are software specification, software design and development, software validation, and software evolution. What is software specification? And also about software design and development, software validation, software evolution. Those we have discussed in the last lecture. So what we are going to start today is about software cost. When it comes to development of software, software cost is significant because now we are talking about businesses. So when it comes to businesses, the organization spend money on software considering the return on investment. What is the return that they get for the investment that the organization make. Because software needs a lot of money. Why software needs money? Can students tell me the reasons why software consumes a huge sum of money? Why? Students, tell me answers. Why? Why do you think software needs, or software, we need to spend a lot of money on software development? Why? I'm going to stop the recording, or students, you can tell me answers. So when it comes to software cost, there are different people involved, and there are a number of activities are there. Software engineers, programmers, IT managers, project managers. Number of professionals need to involve in development and management, special development of software. And also there are various resources. There are various resources. We need to have to develop or to run software. To run software or to use software, we need to have hardware. We need to have computers, we need to have networks, and there are various other resources should be available. And also software cannot be developed overnight. It takes time. It has to be a planned, methodical process to develop software. So when there are a number of people involved over a period, definitely there will be a huge cost. And as said before, in addition to human resources or the staff or software IT professionals, we need to spend money on hardware, and also to develop certain systems, we need to spend money for some software applications too. There are free applications are also available, but in addition to that, for certain software developments, we need to purchase off-the-shelf packages, software. Then after development of the software, it is to be tested. For testing purpose, there are specifically trained professionals are available for testing. So testing is one of the important process coming under quality assurance. Activity. So that also costs a lot of money. Software testing, that is also cost a lot of money. So once you develop the software, after testing it, once your quality assurance process is done, you implement it software, and then your users start using it. then you need to maintain the software. Why? And usually it says that for maintenance, you need to spend more money than development of software. Maintenance is very important, where a lot of people need to pay attention. Why software need to be maintained? Why do you think that software maintenance is important? Can someone tell me the answer for that?
Sir, I think software is some bugs.
Yeah, all answers you said were correct, because software maintenance is important. One of the reasons, there are many reasons. Our business environment is changing. Sometimes the requirements our customer wanted earlier will be changed tomorrow due to the change in the business environment. Because we can't develop software to be used forever. We all know that our society, our environment is changing day by day. So the software is also to be changed in line with the changes happening in the environment. And also, sometimes the technology, business environment is also changing, and also our technology. Technological environment, that also changing. A few years ago, when we developing websites or various other network-based solutions, we didn't want to consider about Facebook. There was no social media trend a few years ago. But now, if you are developing software.
Hello, sir.
The social media factor is one of the things that you need to consider. So according to the technological environment and also the platforms, it could be Windows-based platform, it could be open source platform. Your operating system versions are changing. Various new web services or your other applications running environment is changing. So in line with the changes happening in the environment or the technological environment, you need to change your software. Sometimes customer itself want to change the requirements or change the software because one reason could be the competition or the customer might compare the features of the software with other similar products in the market. Or there may be internal changes happening in the organization. Or there could have changes done within the organization or the improvements they might have done to the processes in the organization. So those changes that they have done in processes those should be reflected in the software applications, software. So those changes also we need to do. Usually it says that for software maintenance, we need to spend more money than software development. Usually, the money that we need to spend on software maintenance is more than software development cost. And also if we talk about software development cost, so when it comes to software, it could be divided, software cost, it could be divided into maintenance and software development. But in software development, higher portion, 60% of usual cost goes to software development and about 40% goes for software testing. And usually it says that for software maintenance cost is higher than software development cost because it is a process that we need to continue, and doing a change for already developed software is much more difficult than doing it while you are developing the software. අපි software එකක් maintenance stage එකේදී අපි වෙනස්කම් කරනකොට කරන්න ඕනේ software development එක ඔක්කොම ඉවර කරපු එකට. Then you need to completely, sometimes you need to do complete structural change to make some specific change to the software. The entire structure has to be modified or changed. That's much more difficult than doing it at the stage of development. අපි software එක develop කරන stage එකේදී අපිට වෙනස්කම් කරන්න ලේසි. හැබැයි ඒක දැන් මේක building එකක් වගේ. It's similar to development, construction of a building. When you're constructing a building, you start with the foundation, you have a plan, then you start with the foundation, you then you put up your walls. But if you want to add a new room or a new new area to your already constructed building, then it's going to be much difficult than doing it while you in your normal process. Now you are going to make the change to already develop house or a building. So it's difficult. The same principle, same concept applies for software too. So that's why software maintenance cost is higher than other software costs. So if you move to the next slide, these are the challenges in the software engineering. So why we need software engineering is to develop cost-effective software, considering all the factors which are affecting on development and maintenance. So we need to look at the user requirements. We need to look at the user requirements. We also need to look at the efficiency of the software. At the same time, we need to consider the money, the resources, cost that we need to spend on software. Those are the main concerns of software engineering. So general issues that affect software or the challenges in the software industry. If you become or you will be an ICT professional, you will be ICT project manager, ICT manager, or ICT software engineer, or network engineer. In few years, after about 4-5 years, you will be an IT professional. So the challenge in the software industry is there are 4 challenges we usually are talking about. One thing is business and social change. We talk about this. Our business environment is rapidly changing. Our social environment is rapidly changing. So when it comes to software, our software is also to be changed in accordance with, in line with the changes happening in the business environment or social environment. Because IT is about supporting humans' life. IT is about delivering humans' requirement. So if you want to satisfy human, when the change is happening in your environment, in your business or in your social environment, you too need to change. You too need to change your software, your applications. Then one of the other challenges is heterogeneity. What is meant as heterogeneity? Can someone read what is available on the screen and tell me what is meant as heterogeneity? So in heterogeneity, you need to consider when developing software, those should be compatible. Or those should satisfy different types of requirements in the running or in the operational environment. If you are developing an application, it should be able to access from the web. And sometimes we want to have, you should be able to access the same application we need to access via mobile. And also when it comes to mobile, it should compatible. We need to have it compatible with iOS, or it also need to be compatible with Android. Sometimes those are to be downloadable and should be able to access via your normal operating systems. It should be able to run as a desktop application. The networks are also different. There are different types of operating systems are available. So the life of a IT professional or software engineer, programmer, or network specialist are challenging. So when it comes to software engineering, especially, the software that you are developing, that under your concern, that it should support different types of computer and mobile devices. It should not only to support a specific brand or a model. If your software is not support the different environment or the hardware operational environment, your software is not going to be used by your users. So this is one of the serious challenge where software engineers face. And then about security and trust. When developing software, security is one of the security and trust, one of the important aspect, because now you are dealing with almost all the information of the organization. The software that you are developing is not trustworthy. If your competitors can access your data, if your software has various loopholes where third parties or hackers can get into your software, just in seconds, your entire business can collapse. So security and trust is again a challenging aspect, because you can have various measures to enhance the security aspect. But the problem is there are hackers. On the other hand, in the industry too, the hackers are also working on to break or to get into your software, get into your system. So the security and trust, another aspect we need to consider. Then about the scale. A few years ago, when it comes to development of software, it's basically a desktop application or a small application. It should support a few computers in the local area network. But when it comes to today's context, if you talk from today's context, we talk about cloud environment, we talk about cloud, and it has basically most of the application software to be used are the e-commerce applications, social media based applications. Those are to be used by number of users across the world. And there are different types of portable wearable devices. Your application should support the features of those devices, should be compatible with those devices. So the scale of the software or the meeting this requirement, the scale is again one of the biggest challenge in software engineering industry. So software engineering is challenging. Why? Software engineers or software developments need to think about business and social change. They need to think about heterogeneity and also the security and trust and the scale or the change or the range that you need to consider when developing software, the range of scale. So those are the challenges in the software industry. Any questions up to now? Now we are going to talk about software engineering diversity and software techniques. There are different techniques are available to support software development. There are different types of techniques are available to use in software development. The software engineering method or the tools that you're using for development of the software depends on the type of application. Sometimes your application may be for a banking operation, for a bank. Sometimes your application may be for a small organization, to get information of their customers. Or maybe you are developing an aircraft management system, which is a mission critical system, very critical system. If something goes wrong with the system, there will be a huge damage. There will be loss of lives of people. So likewise, there are different types of software available. The wish, how you need to develop the software. What is the software engineering method that you need to use? What sort of tools you need to use to develop the software? Depends on the type of the application being developed. There are a number of factors you need to consider when selecting a software engineering method. So there's no universal set of software technique. We can't say that this is the best method where you can use for any software. Development of any software, this is the best method. This is the best software engineering technique to be used. There's no technique as such. Right? So the software engineering method that you need to use for a specific type of application depend on various factors of the application. So when it comes to software applications, there are different types. One is standalone applications. The other one is interactive transaction-based application. I don't think I have to explain you all these because you should have done these things. You have done these application types for your A-level as well. And just read the titles and tell me, give me some examples relevant to these applications. Standalone applications. And then also there are interactive transaction-based applications. And then we have embedded control systems. Then we have batch processing systems. Then we have entertainment systems. Then you have systems for modeling and simulation. These are in broad application types. I'm not going to take much time on this topic. You have done this for your A-level, and since you all are university students, you must be having an idea of the types of applications. I will take you through, I will just give you a short introduction. Standalone applications. Can someone tell me what are standalone applications? Can someone read the board and tell me the answer? Or tell me it's running on a local computer. Usually the application, we don't need to connect that to a specific network. Some small organizations, their finance systems are running on a single computer. They don't give the access to any other, or they don't, the application cannot be accessed via the network. Standalone applications, developed for a specific purpose, small applications. Those days, earlier days, most of the applications were standalone. Now it has been changed. Now actually we don't develop standalone applications unless there's a specific reason. It's just in one computer. 1 or 2 persons use it for some purposes. Then we have interactive transaction-based applications. An example for this is e-commerce application, where your application is on a remote computer and it's accessed by users from their own PCs or terminals. Interactive transaction-based applications. E-commerce, it's one of the good example for this. Then we have embedded control systems. When it comes to embedded control systems, we talk about there are software control systems. The ATM machine is one of the good examples for this. Software available, the software control systems. Most of the systems in the world, actually, the majority of the systems are coming under this category, embedded control systems. There are software to manage hardware devices. Automated ATM machines, then networking equipment, digital video cameras, mobile phones, aerospace applications, telecom applications. All those systems are the applications coming under embedded control systems. Then we have batch processing systems. Where in some businesses, some organizations, you collect, you get, or the process of some data is done as batch-wise. Because you don't do processing online basis at a particular time of a day. You transfer all data, you process all data at once. Some of the operations of banks still done as batch-wise. Now, actually, in today's context, most of the systems are moved on to online real systems, but still there are systems happening as batch-wise. Then we have entertainment systems. The systems developed for entertaining purposes. Games, videos, music shows. And then we have another type, we call it systems for modeling and simulation. These are systems developed for a specific scientific or a physical purpose processes. Sometimes you need to develop a specific software for engineering device or a chemical plantation. Or nuclear plantation. Then the modeling and simulations, those are important to model the process. Those are specific application. Right? So in general, these are the basic types of applications. If I ask a question for the exam, you need to explain me with some examples, right? So in general, we have 6 types of applications: standalone applications, interactive transaction-based applications. Then we have embedded control systems. Then we have batch processing systems, then entertainment systems and systems for modeling and simulation, right? Okay, there are 2 more, right? Sorry. Then the data collection systems and systems of systems. In today's context, there are systems available to collect data, especially sensor-based. Those systems are specifically based on sensors. You collect various information from the environment using set of sensors, and then you process them you analyze and you process and analyze. Then another type of software application type is systems of systems. In systems of systems, actually, it's like your Microsoft Excel spreadsheet program. So in systems of systems, there are a number of other programs are running behind or supporting the entire application. So number of systems are there to build the entire application. Systems of systems. One of the good examples is spreadsheet program. Right. So these are some of the basics in computing. So you must have done these things for your A level. So you need to read the notes and also refer to the web and get an idea about the types of applications available. And this is one of the questions I have asked about 1 or 2 times in previous exams. Now we will move on to software engineering fundamentals. So now we are going to talk about the software engineering fundamentals. So when it comes to software engineering, as we discussed many times, software engineering is about development of software to meet customer requirements, and those are to be developed within the given time and the available budget. Within the given time and available budget, you should develop a software to meet the requirements of the customer. So when it comes to develop software, there are different types of techniques are available. Which type of method to be used for development of the software depends on various factors. How we are going to select a different process for development of the software, or we are going to discuss in detail later on. But whatever the software that you develop, your customer should be happy about the software that you are developing, that you deliver, and they should be able to depend on your software. They should be able to depend on your software. There may be software available, but if the calculation which makes by the software is incorrect, if the performance of your software is poor, your software is not going to be accepted or you cannot be solved. It will not be accepted by your customers. So the dependability and performance is one of the fundamentals of software engineering. It's irrespective of the technique. Whatever the technique that you use for development, you need to address the dependability and performance. And also understanding and managing the software specification and requirements. So in software engineering, you need to understand the customer requirements. You should be able to manage the customer requirements. We talked about what is SRS last time. System requirement specification or software requirement specification. The software is developed based on the SRS or specific software specification. Why you develop the software and what are the requirements of the customer that should meet by the software is one of the key area that you need to address. And in today's context, reusing of software is one of the considerations. Where when developing your software, when you are designing the software, you are thinking about reusing of some of the part of the developing software for other software. Or maybe for your software, you could use some of the part from earlier developed software, or on the other hand, you could think of having some parts within your software to be used for future purposes. අපේ software එක reuse කරන්න ඕන. කියන්නේ අපි සමහර දේවල් අපි හැම එකම මුලින් ඉඳන් කරන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. සමහරව අපි කලින් කරලා තියෙනවා අපි ඒවා පාවිච්චි කරනවා. ඒකට අපිට අපේ ජීවිතේ අර ටෙස්ට් කරන්න ඒවා ගොඩාරිය දේවල් අපිට අමාරු වෙන්නේ කලින් software කරපු දේවල් අපි reuse කරනවා. ඒ වගේම අපි software design කරනකොට අපේ software එකේ සමහර දේවල් අපිට ඉස්සරහට පාවිච්චි කරන්න පුළුවන් වෙන පැත්තත් බලලා අපි design කරනවා. These are some of the fundamentals. We should develop the software using a managed and understood development process. There are different processes are used for different types of software. And what process and what is the process to be used for the specific software that you are developing should be done based on different factors. And the dependability and performance are important for all types of software, all types of system, whatever the system that you are developing. Your customer should be able to depend on your software. And also performance-wise, it should deliver the results efficiently. And also, understanding and managing software specification and requirements are also important, because finally, your software is to deliver some requirements. And then also you need to think about reusing of some of previously developed part of software for your software, and also when it comes to development of some part of your software, you need to think how you are going to make certain parts for future purposes. Software project failures. Though we spend a lot of money on software development, and also we invest various resources on software development, but still most of the software projects fail. Still, software projects fail. So how do you look at this? Why do you think software project fails? Can students tell me the reasons? Why do you think? Why do you think software project fails? What are the reasons for failures of software? Will answers are you able to hit on a software project? So there are all the answers said by students are correct. Most of the answers. Very good, right? I'm really happy to hear your answers, know your answers. So the main reason why software engineering was evolved, we discussed about this on the first day. This was introduced, the concept was introduced as a solution to prevent software project failures, as a solution to minimize software project failures. So we introduced this, the reason why this software engineering was introduced during 1960s was a solution to prevent software project failures. But still, the software project fails, but even I have many examples even in Sri Lanka, national level, software project fails due to many reasons. Still, some people say that software engineering techniques are not good or inadequate or not enough for modern software development. Software engineering techniques are to be improved. Software engineering needs modifications, improvements to suit for modern software development. So when we look at, I'm not sure whether you can see this slide. Can you see these slides? Can you see this slide, students?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So when it comes to software project failures, we could discuss about those failures in 4 categories. One category is about people factor. One second. The other category is about methods. The third category is about task. The fourth category is about environment. So the causes for software project failures can be categorized or can be discussed in 4 categories. If your staff, if the people are not motivated, if the people software developing or the software or the software or the staff in the organization where software is going to be used, if they are not motivated, if there's no support from the top management, if your software engineering team is not skilled, if they don't have the right knowledge to develop the software, then that lead to failure of the software. Then again, about the method. If you develop your software with a poor technique, if your software development or the programming languages are not appropriate, if your database is not appropriate, if you have used poor approach in developing your software, your methodology is poor, then again it leads to failure of the software. Then about task. So there are different tasks should involve in development of the software. Customers need to involve. You need to identify the requirements. You need to contract the software. Because if there's no contract between you and the user, you can't make your software. Then the project management factors need to involve. Quality control, the task factors are. So if one of the factor or the task fails, if the contracting not done, your project fails. If your project not managed, if the project management is poor, your software project fails. If the software not tested well, your software project going to fail. So the task wise also, there are some causes, there are some reasons which can fail your software. Then about the environment. As we said, as we discussed earlier, the environment is changing. The policies are changing. Business environment is changing. Organization structure is changing. Technological environment is changing. So when you are developing the software, the changes happening in the environment also you should consider. Otherwise, you are going to end up in a failure. Right? So these are the common causes of software project failures. So if we talk about some examples, incomplete requirements, lack of user involvement. Lack of user involvement is one of the incomplete requirements, lack of user involvement, actually both come under one category. These are examples which come under main categories we discussed earlier. Right? There are 4 main categories for software which cause software project failures. So these are some examples, right? Incomplete requirements. If you don't know the requirements of the customer, you can't develop a software. And also your customer, they need to involve with the development of the software. If they don't involve, what will happen is they will not start using it. And also you won't be able to know the requirements. Their support is important. Their support is vital. They should motivate. They should be motivated. You need to have some special activities to get their support throughout the development, and even after development, they need to start using it. The lack of resources, if you don't have money, if you don't have hardware, if you don't have software, if you don't have right people, unrealistic expectations. Some customers, they give you task, they say some requirements where you can't deliver. Those are impossible. But they want to get everything done from IT solutions. That's also one of the reasons, because if the requirement is not unrealistic, there's no way that you can deliver. Lack of executive support. The top management, especially, they need to support you. Otherwise, you won't get money. Otherwise, the other staff, their subordinates not going to support you if you don't have the support from the top management. Change in requirements and specification. Again, one of the things that we have discussed repeatedly. Then this is about the last topic for today. No, one more thing. What differences has the web made to the software engineering? So the web has introduced various new technologies. Earlier, we had to develop software, either PC based or only for a local area network purposes. But in today's context, most of the software that you are developing, it should support the web and also should be able to access via mobiles. But these either web or mobile-based applications though various techniques or various technologies being introduced, but still we need to apply same software engineering principles, concepts, even with software, even with a different web-based applications. Since we have a limited time, I'm not going to explain this in detail, right? You can read the slides given, but what I want to tell in summary is, so when it comes to software engineering, the same principles that we develop, that we use for any software development applies for web-based applications as well. So there's no different saying that we need to apply for web-based application than normal software. So it's going to almost going to be same. And this is the final topic for today. What is meant as software engineering ethics? Software engineering ethics. Can someone tell me what is meant as software engineering ethics? So when it comes to software engineering ethics, ethics can be chara dharma කියන එක. The meaning of ethics is here, ethics. I'm sorry, my connection is poor, right? Ethics කියන අපි ස්ථාර ධර්ම කියන එක. I don't know what is meant by what the meaning of the word in Tamil. The ethics are important. It's really important for software engineers. Why? Software engineers are dealing with customers' data. So in organizations, when it comes to software or the role of software engineers, you are dealing with almost all the confidential data of organizations when it comes to development of software. So being honest and ethically responsible is one of the key quality, one of the essential quality that software engineers should have. So ethics are not just about the law of the country. It's about set of principles that are morally correct. Ethics කියන්නේ රටක නීතිය නෙවෙයි. අපි software engineers ලා විදියට අපි organization එකේ confidential data ටිකත් එක්ක අපි handle කරන්නේ. ඒතර අපේ ශාර ධර්ම කියන්නේ අපි මේ data වල ආරක්ෂිතභාවය, ගරුත්වය, අවංකව වගකීමෙන් පාවිච්චි කරනවාද කියන එක අපිට අවශ්‍යම දෙයක්. IT professionals ලාගේ එතන IT කරන එක්කෙනෙක් වැරදි විදියට තමන්ගේ data හසුරවනවා නම් මේ දේවල් හරියට පාවිච්චි කරන්න දන්නේ නැත්නම් එක්කෝ hardware ටික වැරදි ආකාරයෙන් පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් එක්කෝ තමන්ගේ පෞද්ගලික වැඩ සඳහා organization එකේ දේවල් පාවිච්චි කරනවා නම් එක්කෝ තමන්ගේ සමහර මම දැකලා තියෙනවා සමහර organizations වල IT කරන අය තමන්ගේ ගෙවල් වල තියෙන කියන්නේ තමන්ගේ පෞද්ගලික දත්ත ඔක්කොම තමන්ගේ ආයතනයේ එක එක තැන් වල සේව් කරලා තියෙනවා. මේ දේවල් පවා වැරදි දේවල් ඇත්තරම. දැන් අපිට අනවශ්‍ය අදාළ නැති දත්තයක් එක්ක වැඩ කියන්නේ අනවශ්‍ය දෙයක් අපි කියවලා බලන එක උනත් වැරදි දෙයක් software engineering වල. අපිට අවශ්‍ය දේම තමයි අපි software engineering වල බලන්න ඕනේ. මේ දේවල් වල ගරුත්වය ආරක්ෂාව අපි පරිස්සම් කරන්න ඕනේ. This is the essence or the core of software engineering ethics. So there are 4 main areas we are discussing about under software engineering ethics. One is confidentiality. Right? When it comes to dealing with customers' data, confidentiality is one of the important aspects. Usually, we sign an agreement with the customer initially saying that we are not going to break or we are not going to breach the confidentiality. So that all the information that you are dealing with the customer, you are not going to reveal to a third party. It will be used only for the intended or the intended purpose. So when it comes to competence, the software engineers, as software engineers, you should only take the responsibilities or the development that you are competent about. If you can do a development of a particular software, only you can take the responsibility. If you don't know the particular subject, if you don't know how to do, if you don't have the right skill to do it, you should not undertake the job. Or you need to tell the customer that you are not that capable of doing this. but I need time to learn and develop this software. That honesty is required. Then about the intellectual property rights. Now, when it comes to software development, actually you are working with customers' various information and intellectual properties. Sometimes you are working with their patents and copyrights. So none of the things you should not be misused. For some cases, you buy specific original software for certain software developments. But if you buy a software for a particular organization, without the permission of the customer, you can't use it for another software, another organization. Then the computer misuse. This is applicable for all IT professionals. When you are working in an organization, you should not misuse the resources in the organization. And even playing game on employer's machine is a misuse of a computer. So I will stop the lecture now, right? Now the time is up. So actually I have taken 5 minutes from the other lecture too. So we will start we will do an extra lecture on next Monday. I will pass the message to, I can't remember the name of the Dushan. So he will talk to me on Monday, and then I will confirm